Okay, so there. Hello everyone. My name is Miles Benagua and I am the Prudent Millennial. So right now, I've been very eager to start our Break and Rebuild series. I tried making videos, but to be honest with you, I don't find those videos satisfactory. So I want to make something that is, alam mo yun, parang I want to make this as informative as possible. So, like what I always tell in the previous videos I've posted before that I have deleted, just in case you are concerned about how I look like, please disregard if I look messy. It's like magti-3 na ng umaga and I just wanted to finish this because there are things that I needed to do to help other people and this is one of them. And if I am going to wait for the perfect moment para magawa yun and the perfect moment doesn't really exist, I won't be able to do anything. So in this video, you are going to learn how to find out your financial status, how to compute for your net worth, and what your net worth means to your life. And without any further ado, let me move forward to this one already. So I have my código here in front of me, which you cannot see, and I have my glasses. So I feel awkward wearing this, just in case you will see my eyes looking a little bit weird. That is because I've been working for more than 12 hours for several days with no sleep because many things are happening in my life and I'm having difficulties making adjustments. So I want you to focus on what I am going to say, not what you are going to see, because this is important for your financial growth. Financial growth is very important right now because marami sa atin, alam mo, parang marami sa atin, we think we are financially okay because we are able to buy the things that we want that we don't need, that other people don't have. And alam mo yun, parang this is just pure real talk, but I want this to be constructive because I don't want you to feel negative when you are going to confront your financial status or your financial health status. So I want you to confront this with an open mind, an accepting mind, so that way you can evaluate yourself. And then if in case you find yourself in financial trouble, I want you to know that if you find things very overwhelming and that you need help, know that you can always send me a message on my page so that way I can assist you in making better personal financial choices. Okay? So right now, let's begin. So how do we know our financial health status? So basically, we can know our financial health status by understanding our net worth and by computing our net worth. And how do we compute net worth? That is actually very simple. It is a combination of the things that we own, OWN, minus the things that we own. Ibig sabihin, it is our total asset minus our debt or liability. And how do we compute for it? So let's take things one step at a time. Since net worth is composed of two things, total asset and total liability or utang, let us compute first your asset. So your asset is combined, it is composed of your savings, kung ano man yung monetary value ng business mo, investment, all the things that you own, kung magkano yung value ng fridge mo, magkano yung value ng bahay na fully paid mo, magkano yung value ng laptop mo na ginagamit mo for your business, kung magkano yung value ng mga bagay na meron ka. And then, after you have totaled them, that will give you your total asset value. Now, let me clarify something. If in case you have a car, you have a house, or you have things that you have used loan to get and that you haven't paid them in full, that is not an asset. Let me clarify, that is not an asset. So that will fall under debt or liability. So do not add that to your asset. So now that you have already computed your asset, I want you to move on to the next step, and that is combining your total debt. So your total debt can be the things you have purchased using home credit that you haven't paid for in full. Pwedeng cellphone, pwedeng yung kotse, pwedeng yung bahay, Pwede yung kinapos ka ng pamasahe pa uwi, sinara mo sa katrabaho mo, or an emergency happened and then you have to borrow from friends or family, everything. Lahat ng debt mo, even though yung mga utang na hindi ka na sinisingil ng mga pinagkakautangan mo. I want you to understand that debt is a responsibility and God does not approve people who does not pay their debt. So even though hindi ka sinisingil, even though you have forgotten about it and years have passed already, you need to have the initiative or the intentionality to remind the people that you owe money and then tell them that, hey, pasensya ka na, nakalimutan ko, may utang pala ako sa'yo. Sana hindi ka galit sa akin, sana hindi... Alam mo yun, kumbaga, we don't want any relationship to be ruined simply because of money. And you have to let them know that you have the intention to pay for it. And if you have already find a way, or if you have already sat down, computed your budget, and then you have already created a game plan on how you are going to pay for that debt, that is great. Let them know, make a commitment, and then live to that commitment. So right now, like what we said kanina, any utang you may have, bahay, sasakyan, appliances, total them. And then after you have totaled all of your, tama ba English ko? After you have already computed your combined liability, you have to deduct that from your asset. So basically, kunyari, ang total asset mo is 100,000 and then your total debt is 50K. The remaining 50K or the difference of 50K is what you call the net worth. So as you can see, madali lang siya i-compute. You just have to be honest with yourself, and that is difficult to the people who doesn't want to acknowledge that they have financial problems. Now, like what I said, like what I always tell my clients, if you are going to sit down with me and talk to me about your financial status, if you really want to improve your financial health, I want you to understand you have to be honest with me, you have to be honest with yourself above all. Because if you are not going to confront your situation, it is not going to improve. How can you solve a problem you are not acknowledging? So that is the reason why you need to be honest in computing your asset, most especially with your liability, okay? Because you need to be a good steward of everything that you have. And how can you do that if you are not aware about what you have, what you owe, what your responsibilities are? And right now, why is it important to know your net worth? Like what we said kanina, how can you manage your finances if you don't know if you're financially healthy or not? How can you manage your finances if hindi mo alam or hindi ka aware kung kanino ka may utang or kung hindi ka aware kung ano yung meron ka? Kasi if you don't know the things that you do have, how can you maximize them so that way you can gain profit from them? Or how can you use them effectively so that way you can be a good steward of the blessings God has provided you? Now, it is important because we need to be aware of our existing problems so we can prevent them from being bigger problems. So we will be able to approach them and give solution to it. Okay? Hindi mo kailangan alamin na meron kang problema just for you to feel bad. You need to know what your problem is so you can solve it. And because until you confront your financial situation head on, you will not be able to manage it. What more, grow or improve your asset. We should not forget that we are not aiming for simply wealth accumulation. We are aiming to be a good steward of everything that God has entrusted us with. And it's impossible to do that if we don't know what our challenges are. Now that you have already, okay, so let's move on to the next step. And right now you have already computed your net worth. So what is next? I need you to understand what your net worth is or what it means to your life. And alam mo yun, parang when you have computed your net worth, you may stumble upon two things. It can be negative, it can be positive. And I have created two main categories to help us understand your situation. Actually, we have three. We have neutral net worth, which is 0. we have positive, we have negative, but I want us to focus on the two, which is the positive and the negative net worth. So the first is negative net worth. Negative net worth means your debt is higher than your asset. For example, your asset is 50K, but your debt is 100K. So basically, you have negative 50,000 for net worth. Now, normally, that happens if you are spending more than what you are earning. So just in case you find yourself in that situation where you have negative net worth, you just have to sit down and then evaluate how you are spending your money, evaluate your budget. And on our next video and on our next blog post, we are going to be discussing how kung paano natin ima-manage kapag nasa negative net worth tayo. So that way, we can rise from negative to neutral and then to positive. And even though this situation is serious and very far from ideal, I need you to understand that I do not want you to feel bad about your situation. You don't have to. Feeling bad or worrying, that's not a practice of someone who believes in God. And if you are going to be negatively anxious about something, if you are going to worry about things, hindi ka naman dapat nag-worry, instead of you being able to approach things with a logical mind or with a clear mind, so that way you can give better solutions, you won't be able to do it. So first of all, I want you to be grateful that you are aware of where you are, and I want you to positively commit in making your life better by being a good steward of God's blessing. Now, I don't know if you're a Christian or not, but I am a Christian, and that is the best thing that has happened to my life. And whenever I find myself in a negative situation, the first thing I do is I pray to God. For example, kunyari, if I were in a situation, I can say na, Lord, I am so sorry because I am not a good steward of the things you have blessed me with. And since I did not obey you, I did not become a good steward of the things you have blessed me with, I am now experiencing disciplining, and I am right now in a situation where it is not ideal, and in order for me to make a very good situation out of this, I need to approach my negative situation with a grateful heart, knowing that you are with me, you are going to give me wisdom, so that way I'll be able to manage this properly. God always provides. I want you to understand that God will always provide. If you can remember yourself having financial problems before and today you are still alive, that in its own form is already a blessing. You just have to keep on looking for the right things. Be sensitive sa will ng Lord for you, so that way you'll be able to move on this in a very positive way, okay? Next is, if you have a positive, okay, so right now, we have already discussed the negative net worth, how we are going to manage it. We are going to be discussing that on the future videos. Now, excuse me if my English grammar is not perfect. I'm doing my best, okay? Alam mo yun, nakakahiya, pero I don't care. Ang mahalaga sa akin, you are learning. And if you have any negative things to say, you can PM it to me as well. Alam mo yun, if it's going to help me become a better share of information, that would be great for me. But if you're going to like just share negative things because you are a sad, bitter person, don't tell it to me, don't share it to me. Just tell me whatever your problem is, kung bakit ganyan, I'll be more than willing to listen. Kahit wala pa yung kinalaman sa finances. I mean, I am your ate. Regardless if it's about regardless if it's about finances or not, my goal is to help people. And alam mo yun, no matter what help you may need, I'll do my best to provide it, okay? I mean, advice is for free, and God has given us wisdom that you can find in the Bible, and He gave it to us for free. So there. Moving forward, if you have a positive net worth, ibig sabihin, when you computed it, positive yung answer, hindi negative, well then, that's good. Pwedeng may debt ka pa din, pwedeng wala. But if you have a positive net worth without debt, then that is good for you. You just have to keep on doing the good things you are doing, and if you can make it better, why not? So that way you can even improve your net worth. I mean, it's not bad to have bigger net worth. I mean, the more money you have, the more you can position yourself to help other people. Di ba nga sabi, kapag ka tumataas yung money mo, kailangan yung lifestyle of giving mo tumataas din. But if you still have debt despite having positive net worth, that is okay as well. That is a very good blessing already. But I want you to focus, or I want you to be mindful of these things. And that is number one, paying off your debt as soon as possible and making sure that you won't be able to add more to it. Because alam mo yun, kapag ka hindi mo kayang i-manage yung debt mo, ibig sabihin you are not being a good steward of God's blessing. It's just that the reason why positive yung net worth mo, kasi hindi pa siya ganun kalala, hindi pa siya nag-negative. So why are you going to wait for that situation where the net worth is going to be negative? Nabubulo na ako, napapagod na ako magsalita. Now, another thing is you have to make sure that you are not going to add more to what you already owe. Okay? Nakakapagod, nakaka-stress may utang. So please, do not make your problems go bigger. And of course, you have to identify the reason why you are incurring debt. So that way, you can prevent yourself from incurring more debt. And of course, so meron tayong negative net worth, meron tayong positive net worth, meron din tayong neutral net worth. So, ibig sabihin, you have already totaled your asset and then your liability. Pwedeng wala kang utang, pero wala ka ring ipon. So, that's neutral. And that is not a sad thing. But at the same time, that is not a very happy thing as well. Kasi wala kang utang eh. So, bakit hindi ka pa rin nakakapag-ipon? I mean, kahit piso, 20, 200, 500, ipon pa rin yan. And that means very important to everyone. Kasi kung alam mo yung little by little, if you're able to grow it, eventually that money you are able to grow, you can use that to amplify growing your net worth. So that way, you can do more good things with the money that you have. Okay, so moving forward, here. So we have already discussed the net worth. We have already discussed how to compute for net worth and the categories of every net worth that you have and what it actually meant to your life. We will have a deeper dive for each categories in the next video. But right now, I want you to focus on this one. I want to encourage you to take full responsibility of your life by knowing what your net worth is. I want you to know kung healthy ka ba, kung positive ka ba, kung negative ka ba, or kung neutral pa ba. Kasi we need to know where we are so we can get where we want to be. Kasi kung gusto mo pumunta from point A to point B, you need to know how far point A to point B is. So how will you know your point A if you are not going to be honest with yourself and confront your financial health status? Now, it also helps us take more responsibility or accountability for our life by knowing our net worth. Kasi, alam mo yun, parang, how can you manage something that you do not know? It's that simple. How can you manage paying off your debt if you don't know how much you owe? How can you manage growing your money? Or how can you manage your financial health status if you do not know exactly how much your net worth or your asset is? So basically, if you are not going to control your money, you are going to be surprised that your money is going to control you, and magugulat ka na lang that marami ka ng utang or lubog ka na sa utang. And like what I said kanina, if you need help in knowing or understanding your net worth, or for example, you find everything overwhelming already, please feel free to send me a message on my Facebook page, which is The Prudent Millennial, and then just like my page, share, send me a message. I will be responding to you as soon as possible, so I'll be able to answer all your questions. And at the same time, if you can like the video and then share it to someone whom you think needs this information, please do. Alam mo yun, kumbaga, you are blessed with a knowledge. I was blessed with this information. I am sharing it to you, and I want you to share it to others as well, so that way we can help as many people possible. So if you want to, like, alam mo yun, arrange a meeting with you and your friends or your spouse or your future husband or future wife, so that way you can move on to your life ng maayos, nang walang problema sa pera, I'll be happy to do free consultations with you. Just send me a message, okay? So there, that will be everything for me. My name is Miles Benagua, and I am the Pretty Millennial. This is the first official video for the Break and Rebuild series discussing about net worth and our categories when it comes to our net worth. And thank you so much for watching.